Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Archie's Briefings. I'm your host, Arshel Branch, and today, you guys, we are going to be talking about the Governor Noem, Christy Noem of South Dakota's confirmation hearing to be the DHS Secretary, Department of Homeland Security Secretary. There have been a lot of criticisms about her that cost her the VP pick. Some people are saying that her political career is over, hence why she has to be appointed because she can never run for dog catcher. No pun intended. No, I guess pun intended, of course. I walked right into that. Pun intended. But to be perfectly honest, I think the criticisms were entirely unfair. And we are going to speak to the people who gave those criticisms, specifically to people on the right. I don't care about the people on the left who had some stuff to say about her. The people on the left don't like conservative women. I just think they absolutely hate us. So we're going to talk about that. The hearings, the criticisms that led up to her losing the VP job, and why these conservatives seem to be quite quiet about Noem's hearing today. Apparently, if there isn't a lot of filibuster and nonsensical behavior coming from the Democrats, it's not newsworthy. So let's talk about that, shall we? But before we go ahead and do that, I want you to take the time to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so that you never miss an episode. So let's go ahead, you guys. Let's talk about Christy Noem's confirmation hearing and all the stuff that led up to this moment. Let's go ahead and let's talk about that, shall we?
There is something that has been on my heart that I did want to discuss. Discipline is a huge part of being productive, being lucrative. I'm not for anything that goes against true productivity, true sovereignty of the individual. The choices that we make are what's going to be up for judgment.
Okay, you guys. So as I said in the opening, we're going to talk about Christy Noem's confirmation hearing and all the things that led up to this moment, why she's not the VP pick and why she has to go for a position that makes her she has to be appointed to and can't run for, because really of all the criticism that came in the past. So before I talk about the hearing specifically, let's talk about the criticism that came from the people on the right. As I said in the opening, you guys, I don't really care to speak to people on the left. I don't think they like conservative women. They hate us because they think we're race traitors. Okay. I mean, gender traitors, right? Like they think that we don't respect ourselves because we're conservative women, and I don't really care to go over that with the left. But I am concerned about people on the right who somehow think that she is less than Christy Noem, that is, because of some of the actions that she took while she was just running the ranch. In her book, she goes into why she killed the dog. It might have been something that people found out, and then she added it to the book just so she can bring her story to this, because the media had already caught wind that she had killed a dog. And before I go any further, let's just run some of the criticisms, because I do think that that played a huge role to why she was removed from being the VP pick. Actually, not the huge role. I just think that was what happened. So let's go ahead and let's run those criticisms first of the people on the right who had some stuff to say about our Governor Noem. Even though she's not my governor, absolutely love her. I think she's like the governor of the America First movement. Let's go ahead and let's run the criticisms first. Let's start there, shall we?
I don't think there's anybody on any side of the aisle, any human being that thinks it's acceptable to go to a gravel pit and shoot a dog in the face and kill it when it's 14 months old. That's just hideous. So
I'm gonna pause it there. That's just 14 months old. That could be a pretty big dog. I don't care what anybody says. No, here's the thing. I don't think black people care. I can't speak to white Americans or Lebanese Americans. I can't speak to anybody else but black Americans. I don't care how young or old this dog is. If the dog is killing livestock, which she said in her book, which I'm inclined to believe, okay, if it's killing livestock, eating the chickens, attacking the cattle, this is the second family. Her family is the second family that took on this working dog, okay? They say puppy as if this dog wasn't being put to work. No, this is a working dog, okay? So that's supposed to help wrangle in the cattle, okay, help with the ranching, help with the farming, and it can't control itself when it's around beef or chickens. Then it attacks her. It attacks her children. She killed a dog that was very vicious and violent. I don't care that it was 14 months old, okay? Depending on the type of dog, 14 months old can be a pretty big sized dog. And this is problematic. Frankly, I don't even care if it's a little chihuahua. If the chihuahua is trying to attack one of the babies in my family, I will kick it across the street. I don't care, okay? Let's let it keep going. It gets worse. People gets worse.
She's done politically.
Shooting the dog was pretty bad. I don't think people will be fetching her book anytime soon.
I think the whole thing reeks of desperation. I think you have a woman here who desperately wants to be vice president and ultimately president. And so she says, I can be tough like a man. How can I be tough like a man? I can kill a puppy.
I absolutely love Judge Jeanine. Completely was entirely disappointed with her. Okay, this is a woman who grew up in one of the richest counties in the country, Westchester County. You know that from her own story, from her own biography. That's the first thing. Secondly, she's the kind of person who dyes her dog's ears for the holidays. Okay, she'll dye the dogs red, green. Okay, so right, she's very loving of dogs. I don't care how big, small, old, young the dog is. If it tries to bite me, I'm hitting it. Okay. If it scares the children in my family, keep it away. I have people in my family who've been attacked by dogs. Put the damn dog down. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and be upset that Christy Noem was willing to do what needed to be done when it came to killing a Cujo. I'm not mad at her for it. No black person is mad that she killed a vicious animal. Okay. No one's mad. But all these people on the right, conservative media like Greg Gutfeld, like Judge Janine Pirro. I'm a big fan of Judge Janine, but I was incredibly disappointed by her for that kind of a comment. Of course, it killed her opportunity for becoming the vice president because people are thinking that she killed this tiny little thing that was not a working dog, that wasn't attacking human beings and children, that wasn't attacking the livestock and causing problems with the other ranchers and farmers. And we're supposed to be what? These are people who are in the city. I got one more video to show you guys about the criticisms that came from people on the right, particularly when it relates to Megyn Kelly. So let's go ahead and let's run that criticism next, shall we? Okay, so here she had Michael Knowles on the show, and he was not trying to defend her, but defending her, I guess you could say that. But it was really the statement by Megyn Kelly. So I'm going to play that next for you guys. Let's go ahead and let's run it, shall we?
Who do you want to be a governor of your state? Do you want someone who's really nice and sensitive and feeling? Or do you want some cold-blooded killer who takes Cricket out to the gavel pit and puts Cricket down like old Yeller because he ate all the chickens?
These are not the choices.
Don't you want the really nice?
No, you can choose someone who's tough and not a puppy killer. That's like they're calling her the Jeffrey Dahmer of dogs. She seemed to enjoy it. She lost her temper. I'll read the piece from The Guardian. Okay, we haven't seen her.
I don't even need to hear that from her. But as you can see clearly, no, they're calling her the Jeffrey Dahmer of dogs. I'm with it, Noem. Put down the dog, okay? Put it down if it's a problem. I'm not mad. Kill the Cujo, all right? Kill it if you got to. You got to be, nah, I don't even care that she killed Cujo. No black person is pissed that she did this, and that's what cost her her VP. You would think it was going to be the allegations about her having an affair, which I don't even believe is the case. No, it was about her killing a dog that was obviously problematic. No, that was a big issue. No, I don't care. I'm with Noem. Kill it if you have to. Put down the damn dog.
Check it out. If that dog mutates, I'm putting it down. Dig?
You're just not going to convince me that because she killed a dog that this is not somebody who I find to be morally acceptable. Like, I don't believe she's morally corrupt because she put down a crazy ass dog. Excuse my language, but that's how it feels. Big fan of her. We're forgetting that out of all of the states, all of the governors in the United States, she was the only one that kept her state open and freed. That takes us to the hearing, because in the opening of the hearing, she had two character witnesses that came and spoke on her behalf. And one of the biggest things that was said there was that during COVID, she kept our state open and kept our state freed. She obviously respects the Constitution and the liberty that the American people have. She respected it. She galvanized her young people so much that they moved into that city. They moved into the cities. They moved into the state of her state. Okay. The unemployment rate is so low. Young people feel galvanized. They feel like they're safe enough and secure enough to have children. The birth rate has increased in her state. The unemployment rate is low there. She prepares the state for disasters in a way that was an obvious failure in California, which for someone who is interested in seeing how this homeowners insurance crisis is going to get handled, she is going to oversee FEMA, how that works out, because FEMA was a disaster with Florida, disaster with New Orleans, a disaster with California, as I suspect they're going to be, because why? We heard stories that FEMA was going to deny aid to those who were conservatives. Who gave the order to do those things? I mean, what are we talking about here? That this is a woman who clearly respects liberty. This is a woman who clearly respects the Constitution. Megyn Kelly wants to focus on her killing a dog. She wants to focus on the fact that she might have had Botox, lip fillers. I don't care. So this takes us back to the whole we're criticizing women on their physical appearance. I'm not saying that there isn't a conversation worth having about women doing this to their faces, women doing this at all. Okay. The woman broke her back wrangling in cattle as the governor. This woman is bad A. Okay. She's bad A. She's not afraid to do what's necessary. So I'm going to play some of the clips from the hearing today, some of my favorite parts, and why I think she's going to be perfect for the job. Because again, there was a lot of criticism for why she shouldn't be the VP because she killed a dog. And then there were questions of whether or not she would be suitable to do this job after everything we've seen her gone through, from when she was a state congresswoman, to a congresswoman in the federal government, to now being the governor who actually oversees a myriad of departments to be the governor. But apparently she's not able to do this job. So let's go ahead and let's run some of the clips from the hearing, because I think even though that there wasn't a lot of hype and filibuster and nonsense coming from the Democrat side, I do think that it's newsworthy. And I do believe that that is why you're not seeing a lot of conservatives talk about this, because it wasn't as exciting as it was with Pam Bondi and Pete Hegseth. So let's go ahead and let's run some of those clips from the hearing so you can get my take on that. Let's go ahead and let's run those, shall we? Okay, you guys, so before I go ahead and push play on this, she was being questioned by the Senator Joni of Iowa, I believe is her state. And one of the reasons why this is one of my favorite moments here is that Noem goes into some of the concerns that people might have had as to her being chosen to be in this position of the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security. So I'm going to let her answer for herself. Let's go ahead and let's run that, shall we?
Telling Sarah's story, I remember when this happened because it was so close to home and so devastating
Right,
for
so
her.
this is about the illegal immigration and the border security. That's right. Legal immigration, border security, how she handles this, and what she plans to do when she's in this job. So go ahead, keep going.
Her family and the entire state of Iowa and our country. President Trump is focused on making sure that these types of situations don't happen again, that we don't continue to lose our children and our family members to illegal immigrants that come in and perpetuate crime and with no accountability, and then are released with no consequences. So
Exactly.
the number one priority of the president is to secure the border and to deport these criminal actors immediately and as soon as possible. They will be the number one priority to make our communities safer, and so that we don't have this kind of situation going forward. In fact, people, I think when they first heard my name being mentioned and nominated for the Department of Homeland Security, maybe thought it was a little bit of a surprise. Like, oh, I didn't think about Christy doing that job. But I tell people the reason that I asked for it is because I knew it was the president's number one priority.
Yep.
I knew that it would needed to have someone in the position that would do what the president promised the American people, would be strong enough to do it, and follow through to make sure that we're protecting our communities and America, but that also came at it from a perspective of how these families feel, that was a wife and a mom and a grandmother, and would be able to stand up and communicate to the American people what we were doing and why we were.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it there with that particular clip. Absolutely loved it. Made it clear, like, people were shocked. Oh, didn't really think about Kristi Noem. And that's fine. You know, it's okay that we didn't see her in that position. But once we heard her name, once I heard that she was being considered for the position, I was excited. I thought, oh my goodness, she'd actually be really great. It never occurred to me to think Kristi Noem. But the fact that that's the name that came up for this position, yeah, I actually love it. I love that she's being considered for this job. I think she's going to be great at it. And other conservatives had stuff to say about it. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to run my other favorite clip in this, where she starts talking about all the wonderful things that she's done for South Dakota and how she intends to take that experience to the job. So let's go ahead and let's run that clip next, shall we? Okay, so this part is in her opening statement where she goes into this part of the speech of her opening statement. She goes into how being the governor, I believe, prepares her for the job, how she believes being the governor prepared her for the job because of all the responsibilities she had. So let's go ahead and let's run that.
Now, I've led South Dakota for the last 6 years with a focus every day on making our state safer, stronger, and freer. I've focused every day on making the best decisions, not just for right now, but for generations to come. I've overseen a state budget of over $7 billion and a state employee workforce of more than 13,000, including more than 7,000 that report directly to the governor. I've addressed important issues like cybersecurity, human trafficking, drug interdiction, and also natural disasters, the same challenges that are facing so many of you and the people that you represent back home. I've secured our state and supported the rule of law. And if confirmed as the 8th Secretary, that is the same approach that I will take to leading the Department of Homeland Security.
Love it.
As we face the evolving threats of the 21st century, the mission and the success of DHS is more critical than ever. We must be vigilant and proactive and innovative to protect the homeland.
We'll leave it there. If you guys watched the hearing, then you obviously know how this went. You know how she was able to handle herself. I'm not going to play any of the back and forth with the other Democrats, with some of the Democrats, because again, it wasn't that exciting and hyper that it was with Pam Bondi and Pete Hegseth. The reason why I decided I was going to cover the Kristi Noem thing was not because of her back and forth with Democrats, but specifically because of the conservative commentators that had a lot of crap to say about her. Okay. Megyn Kelly wants to focus on her physical appearance. Oh, she likes to wear these long hair extensions. She's got a lot of work done. She has Botox, lip fillers. Okay, so we're talking about her physical appearance. We're talking about her hair. We're talking about her face. Never mind the fact that she was the only governor in all of the United States that actually got a parade for respecting liberty. You shouldn't get parades for doing the right thing. But when you're surrounded by tyrannical governors and she's the only one that does what's supposed to be done, this is why she gets the parade, right? Like, we're just going to forget about that.
It's a parade for you. Wave to them.
She respects the Constitution, Kristi Noem. She loves her fellow American citizens. She wants to do right by the American people. Her being in that position, she's going to stay true to Trump's agenda. She's going to make sure the American people stay safe. She handled herself very, very well. And yet all the people who had a lot of stuff to say about her are absolutely silent. Judge has nothing to say about it, even though you had some stuff to say. Greg Gutfeld had some stuff to say about it, yet you had nothing to say. Megyn Kelly had some stuff to say about Kristi Noem, yet I've yet to hear you say anything about Noem on these hearings. So if it's not her in a screaming match or having to constantly defend herself and her leadership from the Democrats, then this is not newsworthy. Not one Democrat brought up her killing a dog. Okay. Not one Democrat brought up a potential affair that actually happened, which if they believed it, they would have gone after her the way they went after Pete Hegseth over an alleged mistake that he made with his wife. Okay. So he made a mistake. They didn't bring any of that up. The Democrats didn't bring any of that up. And the way that they treated Pam Bondi, doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, if you're on the conservative side, picked by Trump, you're going to get it. And they did not do that with Kristi Noem. So everything that you had to say about her, where were you on this? You didn't defend her, which could have kept her in the position in the running for VP. And you didn't do that. Don't tell me that because the dog is 14 months old that I should feel bad that she was excited to kill a Cujo. No, I'm glad she did it. She should be proud that she did it. I think she's strong enough to do what needs to be done for her people. She's obviously done that. Again, the only leader to get the parade, to respect the Constitution, to respect her people's liberties. I don't really care what Judge Jeanine has to say about her. She's going to get this position. She's going to do very well in it. And let me know what you guys think. Again, there's plenty more in the hearing. If you hadn't watched it, go and watch it. I'll put the link in the description. I think she's great. I think we should be supporting her. Megyn Kelly, you can go suck an egg, okay? I already don't trust your opinion when it comes to protecting America First movement. I already don't trust you, okay? Judge Jeanine, you grew up in the richest county. You're a city girl, okay? You're a city girl. Let's just be fair. You're a city girl, Judge. You don't know what it is to work a ranch. And so you just don't know the difficulty. This woman broke her back wrangling in cattle, I believe, or buffalo. It was either cattle or buffalo, one or the other. The woman was on a horse and broke her back doing some, John Wayne stuff, right? The woman is Maureen O'Hara in office. I freaking love this woman. I think she's great. I think we should be supporting her. I think if you're America First, you should be supporting her, especially President Trump is supporting her as well. Again, I think she's perfect for the movement, perfect for this position. And I'm kind of stunned that the conservatives who had a lot of stuff to say about her are quite silent about it. But I'm not silent about defending her and coming after those who had a lot of smack to say about her. I don't care if I like you, don't like you. You had some stuff to say about Governor Noem. Okay. I wish she was my governor. When I was living in New Jersey, I wish she was my governor. Here in Pennsylvania, I wish she was my governor. She's not. And I just absolutely love the woman. I think she's done incredible service to her citizens of South Dakota. And I think she's going to do incredible service for the United States. So get in the comments and let me know what you think about all of that. Let me know how you felt about the hearings, how you felt about the conservatives criticizing her. Let me know about all of it because I'm curious to keep this conversation going. Let me know. So thanks all for watching. God bless. Have a good night and Kepla. Sorry for how late the episode came out because it's a bit late. Had a lot going on with the family, but had a lot going on. So sorry for how late the episode came out. Thanks again for watching. You guys got good night. Kepla.